Hello everyone. A very good evening to one and all present here. Hope you all are doing well. I am Prachi Bagga, your virtual host for today's session. On behalf of Hack BMU organizing team, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you to another pre-hackathon speaker session at Hack BMU edition 4.0, elevating the level of hackathon that has a legacy of providing a welcoming and supportive environment to all the participants to develop their skill. This year, by going virtual and utilizing the power of technology and communication, HackBMU 4.0 is hosting a series of workshops and tech talks throughout the month of February, March, and April. These workshops will allow HackBMU participants to gain in depth knowledge about new technologies, technical communities, and more. To know more, visit us at www.hackbmu.tech. Without further ado, let's get started with today's session. A hackathon crystallizes the way of thinking, despite its chaotically fast and short lived nature, with many teams working through sleepless nights. It forces participants to focus on an issue and think about innovations with a diverse set of inputs. A hackathon presents a new way to collaborate and a great way to keep us all on our toes. So, here comes HackBMU 4.2 to the rescue with yet another workshop exclusively on the power of hackathons. For the workshop, we have with us our esteemed speaker, Mr. Siddharth Dayalwal. So, without wasting any more time, let's get started with our session. Mr. Dayalwal, the virtual stage is all yours.
Thanks a lot, Prachi, for that wonderful introduction. And likewise, I am looking forward to geeking out with everyone, talking about hackathons, how you can take most out of it, and everything else. So, without wasting much of your time, which is very precious, thanks for joining on Sunday afternoon. This is a very good time when we can talk about hackathons. So, I can just pull off my screen on the stream right now so that I can quickly start. And thanks a lot, everyone, for cheering me up in the chat. Thanks, Karthike, Abhik, and Yagna, and we'll see everyone else as well. So, as you can already see on the screen, it's the title of this workshop is Power of Hackathons, and I will be also talking more in the depth about the same. And in case you have any other questions with respect to hackathons, how can you take most out of it? Feel free to drop those questions down in the chat, and I'll be looking over to those questions and answering all your questions in the live today. So let us begin now, and also I hope you all are doing safe in this pandemic. This is a very tough situation for everyone. So be safe at your end. Stay at home, wear mask, observe social distancing and everything else apart from that. And before we start, I would really appreciate if you all would be active in the chats and just introduce yourself. Where are you joining us from? Who you are, and what is that one thing you're looking forward to in this session of mine? So feel free to drop those all the things in the chat, and I'll be looking forward to that. And with that being said, let us start with the session. So first of all, let me introduce myself to you all. Once again, hey everyone, this is Siddharth Dayalwal. I'm basically a student from India itself, currently pursuing my computer science and engineering. I'm a pre-final year student. Apart from that, you can see various communities I've been part of. I am associated with Savo Labs as a community development intern. I was a former community intern at ProGate. I run my very own hackathon that is Hack This Fall. I'm also part of Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador program. I recently got accepted into the GitHub Campus Expert program. I'm an Angel Extra Ambassador and a Google Crowdsource influencer. So this was much about me. And apart from that, I like talking with people, interacting with them, just like I'm doing with you all awesome folks over here in the chat right now. And helping my community members is what I do on a daily basis. And that was a bit about me. Now let's jump to the main topic now. I can see Karthike is joining from Nagpur. Thanks a lot, Karthike, for joining in. Also, let me know where are you joining from, other people. Yeah, Eddie, I can see Eddie over here. Thanks a lot, Eddie, for joining in. Eddie is open source code. So if you want to start your journey with open source, head over to Eddie's channel. Thanks a lot, Eddie, for joining in. So here, to begin with, you all might be having this question that, what actually a hackathon is. Now, before we move forward, let me know in the chats that how many hackathons you have participated in, right? And Just in case HackBMU is your very first hackathon, let me know that as well, and I'll be looking over in the chat. Now let's go with the definition of the hackathon. Now, hackathons are an incredible way to bring our community together to learn new skills, build amazing projects, and just share ideas. And at the same time, a hackathon can also be best described as an invention marathon, right? Now you might be thinking that for whom is this hackathon and who can attend one, right? Now, I would say anyone who has an interest in technology can attend a hackathon just to learn, build, and share their creations over the course of a weekend in a very relaxed and welcoming atmosphere, just like here at HackBMU. Now, for becoming an attendee of a hackathon, it's not necessary for you to be a programmer, and it's not certainly necessary to be majoring in computer science field or any IT field. So just imagine, where does this concept of a hackathon comes from? Basically, hackathons are also called a hack day or hack fest, and this was basically born out of the open source community. Yes, you heard that right. Now, there might be various ways we can consider the impact which a hackathon brings, right? So let us talk more about that. And just in case you are hearing some weird noises from my background, I'm so sorry for that. There are some constructions happening just behind my home, so just ignore those voices. Now, let's talk about hackathon impacts. Being a part of any hackathon brings a lot of opportunities and many other ways with which one can contribute to solve the shared problems of our society. So let us understand what are the few out of many impacts that hackathon creates. And also, while I speak, if you have experienced any hackathon before, do let us know in the chats the best outcome about it. And I can see Abhik is attending the very first hackathon of his. Yash as well. Karthike has been participating in 10 plus hackathons. Harshit is having his very first hackathon. Yeah, so great to see many beginner hackers in this hackathon, that is HackBMU. Thanks a lot. You will definitely experience a good change over this period of duration after the HackBMU ends. So you have taken a good step of participating in your very first hackathon. Hey Yash, thanks a lot for joining in. Let's talk about hackathon impacts. Now, in the hackathon ecosystem, a problem is not just considered as a problem, but instead it is considered as a problem that gives way to an opportunity, right? Now let us understand this. There are multiple problems around us which needs a solution, or we can say a better solution. Now, for creating a solution, what do we need? There are different end goals which surrounds a hackathon. Let's take an example. A solution can be a simple application that can help you find your lost vehicle keys, or maybe which can help your grandmother to find her lost spectacles, right? So the purpose is always about finding a solution to a real world problem. It can be through code or collaboration. Also, hackathons are inclusive. Now, when I say inclusive, what do I mean by that? I mean that it is open to everyone, not just computer science students, not just coders, but also hackathons are for a diverse and dynamic group of programmers, builders, creators, designers, and any other title or role which you can think of. Now, if you have an interest in technology, hackathons offer an opportunity for you to learn, grow, and pick up some valuable technical skills that you would require in your future careers. Also, hackathons are solution based, but while they also serve as an opportunity for a person like extrovert kind of a person or introvert to just foster their relationships and build some genuine connections while engaging with other people, where they see some common interest sharing opportunities. And also, people from different backgrounds gather at a single place just to learn, to collaborate and grow. Not only this, hackathon helps educating people. Now, if you are attending a hackathon, which you definitely are by being a part of HackBMU, you will definitely become better than before, because you get an opportunity to learn from others and teach them at the same time. You get to add projects in your portfolio to make yourself stand unique from others, right? Just take an example of HackBMU. You will be attending like various speaker sessions. I just got to know from the organizer there were like around 20 plus workshops which happened before this workshop. So the learning process, the learning phase has already started for you. During the hackathon itself, you will be doing a lot of things all together, which will at the end of the day help you make yourself become better version, right? So that is the thing. And yes, hackathon helps create valuable connection. Now, anywhere I go, I more focus on networking, connection building, and believe me, hackathons are a great place to meet like-minded people, people who all are having some different backgrounds, skill sets, and experiences to share. You get to meet hackers, each coming from different branches with different set of knowledge. You also meet mentors with variety of skill sets. There are sponsored representatives with whom you can just directly connect and know more about the company sponsoring the hackathon. So in this case, everyone have something unique to share, and networking is my favorite part to do in any event or hackathon in particular. So definitely do not miss that thing. And yes, opportunities. Now, for anyone, opportunities is like very important, and hackathon does helps creating many of them. Now, you might be thinking that what are those different opportunities, right? Let me tell you. It's like for me, opportunities are like collaborating with people, making projects, winning different prizes, or maybe learning new valuable skills, building some meaningful connections, getting internships via interacting with sponsors, earning free swags, of course, and eating free food, not in virtual though, but yes, that is one of the opportunity. And such there are like many opportunities, small to big. So you see, participating in a hackathon gives you a pool of opportunities. You just have to be a good observant and should have that right mindset to grab the suitable one. I can see Kartike typing down there. Always learn new things and get some new ideas to create real life product. Definitely, Kartike. Thanks a lot for adding that in the chat. It is really very important for a hacker or a hackathon team to understand that with their skills they can solve some real world problem and help make this world a better place to live. Solve by solving the shared problems of our society. So that is really very important. Also, the very important best thing is that hackathon is not just an event of few days, right? Hackathon helps build a community. I want to know more about it. Let's talk about it now. But before moving forward, let me know in the chats that what is that one thing you like the most about any community in general, and I'll be looking out for your answers. Talking about me, when I say it, hackathons creates a community, what did I mean by that? I meant hacker community. Now, there are different meaning of the word hacker, right? But I would like to make it clear at this very moment that here, hacker is not the one who is, breaking into systems or doing some kind of a robbery. Instead, hacker is the one who is participating in a hackathon. So, what basically a hacker community is? Let's check that out. Hacker community is nothing but a group of like-minded people having same or similar interest of attending the hackathons and motivation to solve the shared problems of our society. So isn't it super awesome to be part of such a community? Yes, it is. And now you might be thinking that for whom is this hackathon community and who can be a hacker, right? So let me tell you. A hacker community have people with different skill sets, each coming from different background. There are people from beginner level to intermediate to advanced level as well. Even you can be part of the community. Your skills and backgrounds are not the criteria to join. They will eventually, become better as you become the part of this amazing community. And what else do you experience being a part of a hacker community? As I said earlier, I love interacting with people, and hackathons for sure gave me that opportunity to make new friends. Friends with whom I can share my knowledge, discuss common interest, and learn from them at the same time. Really, it feels so good to have people who understand you more than yourself. Also, hacker community helps people to collaborate based on their interest and skills. Now, people come together to work on a project to bring a solution for an existing problem. Hey, Hardikya, thanks a lot for joining in. Yeah, Eddie rightly said, all skills and levels are welcome. There are no restriction. Even if you are a beginner, you can participate. Even if you are an expert, you can participate. People from any level of skill, any level of background or branch, anyone, even the non-coders, non-techies, anyone can participate. Hackathons are for everyone. Also, being a part of the community, you can share your ideas and knowledge and teach people at the same time. There is just so much to gain that I cannot express that enough. And most importantly, Be the part of the community to celebrate and have fun and enjoy your presence, because you are an awesome person being a part of an amazing community. So why not? And there is so much that can be said about it, but let me tell you one more important aspect of a hackathon community. Hi Felix Keys, thanks for joining in. Apart from all the things I talked about earlier, you also get to contribute to open source. So, if you were finding an opportunity to kickstart your open source journey, hackathons are best place to do that, as open source projects are born during the hackathon. And most importantly, open source is not just about code. Today, it is used for designing, file sharing, recruitment, documentation, and multiple domains one can think of, right? And at a hackathon, hackers uses open source tools, softwares, and platforms. Now, many of them build their skills overnight around open source tools and do wonders with the same. So see the change over here. From just starting with a normal hackathon open source projects, hackers end up doing valuable contribution to various organizations across the world and end up building the skills that can help make this world a better place to live. With that being said, let us talk about hackathon continuous tense. Now, wondering what do I mean by this? See, hackathon, you already know what hackathon is by now, right? Continuous, it's like which is happening right now, right? And what do you mean by tense? I'm sure that everyone might have studied this particular word tense in their grammar classes in high school. So, after talking about hackathon, hackathon impacts, and hacker community, what do I mean by hackathon continuous tense? Well, I will highlight few important phases for you to more focus on during the hackathon, and just feel free to note these points down, which can help you while your hackathon journey begins. So very first up is idea. Now, when I talk about idea, what is the first thing which comes into your mind? Now is your time to use the live chat and let me know what, according to you, a idea can be defined as. What is that one line statement which can be said about this particular one word idea? What do you understand by this word idea? Let me know in the chat, and I'll be looking over your responses in the chat. It can be anything. You can come up with vague answer, that's absolutely fine with me. You can come up with wrong answer, that's absolutely fine with me. Just let me know what, according to you, a idea can be, but this is very essential for a person to understand. And I'm waiting for a few answers right now in the chat. Let me check if you can come up with some good answers. I can see Felix answering that an idea can be a solution to a problem. Definitely, it can be one of the answers to the same. I can see Nipun coming up with another answer, which is solution of a problem in imagination. Definitely, because you haven't noted it down somewhere. It's up in your mind. So that can definitely be one of the answers about what is an idea. I can see Sierra turning imagination into reality. Yep, that can also be second step to what Nipun said. So there are like different phases in idea as well. Pratik is coming up with neurological spark that tends to do something innovative. That was a very unique answer, but I appreciate that. That is something really true. What else? Do you have anything else which you come up with when you hear the word idea? Keep your answers coming, and let me tell you what actually I think when I hear the word idea. So for me, idea is like something unique, something creative, or something which is just yours and has been produced according to your thinking and your mindset, right? So this is personally what an idea stands for me. In the same way, idea can be considered as a problem, which many people said in the chat, a problem which you need to find. Now here comes the question that where will you find this problem, or where will you find this idea, right? So for finding a problem, you just need to observe your surrounding. Like, problems are many. As I said earlier, you are having a difficulty to find your lost vehicle, or maybe your grandmother is finding difficulty in finding her lost spectacle. So this is just the simplest problem. Or or maybe let's talk about some bigger problem. It can be a weak traffic algorithm. Like, many times you might have observed that a road where there are no cars have green signal, and the other three sides have to wait until the timer hits to zero, right? So this is like a big problem. But in such a way, there are like various number of problems which are there around us. So problems can be from smallest to biggest. What you can do is Sit with your team, brainstorm on various opinions. You can ask your family members, you can ask your friends, you can interact with mentors, you can take their feedbacks. Definitely go and check out for different sponsor tracks on the website. Also keep in mind the tech stack and skill sets of your team, which is important. And eventually, after all of this, you will start getting, different ideas for finding a good problem which you can solve. Let's talk the next point, which is teamwork. So after you finalize your idea, it really becomes important to distribute the things among your team, right? And each member of your team will be best at something. So make sure to utilize your skill at this particular moment of time, because this is your time. And then divide your work according to the skills which you are having and the interest which you are having. Then very important is to communicate actively, talk about issues you are facing, discuss on different approaches, and most importantly, keep backing each other. If your team member is not knowing about something, make that person aware about it, teach others and learn from them at the same time. You do not have to compete among yourself. This is important. Now, after all of this, with a fantastic team effort, you can definitely teach others, learn, grow, and succeed at the same time. So keep in mind all of these points and you'll definitely do good. What else? Next comes is execution. This is the third phase you need to focus on. Now, whatever idea you have thought about, whichever way the work has been divided, now is the time for you and your team to execute it and get into action. Most important part is that note the time and set goals and targets to achieve in particular period, right? Now every individual team member of yours should start executing the planned list and functionalities that you might have proposed in your idea. And also try to keep buffer time for yourself, just in case you take more time on various aspects while building a solution. Secondly, having a plan B really helps, just in case you foresee plan A not working well. So you can make sure that one or two members of your team can start working on plan B while the other few members are still trying on possibility of making plan A work. So having plan A is always helpful and relaxing. And when I talk about plan B, what I mean is that it can be different problems with solutions, or maybe a single problem with different solution. So it totally depends upon you that what kind of approach you want to pick. Last but not the least, I would also like to throw some more insights about the pitching. Now understand this. Pitching can be a very crucial phase. You can turn the tables over here. Everything you might have done so far, if you have been like going down, if your pitching is good, you can straight away, get that graph up. So let's talk about virtual hackathon right now, because HackBMU is a virtual hackathon. In a virtual hackathon, pitching can be in two ways. Either you will be called in a Zoom meet call and you have to pitch about your hack to the judges, or the second way can be that you have to submit a description about your project with maybe a demo video, right? Now in both the cases, the most important thing is to stick with your idea and not to fluctuate. In this case, you need to be on point with the description of yours. You can start with an introduction, explain the problem and then the solution which you have come up with. And most importantly, only explain the solution which you have come up with during the hackathon hours and not before the hackathon hours, because hackathons are meant to be for the specific duration of period. And also, what you can do is keep in mind the judging criteria and make your pitch which answers all of them. For example, if the judging criteria is innovation, try to add such points in your description in your pitch that can answer what innovative your project has come up with, what innovation has it come up with, or what innovative things you are trying to put in into your project. So try and make your pitch which answers all of those judging criteria. Also, tell about the USP, that is unique selling proposition, and tell how it will help others. What impact does your solution creates, and tell about if you have faced any difficulties approaching the end result, and also tell how did you overcome that, because this is important. And you can also add what did you learn, what are the tech stacks you have been using for this particular project. And at the end, it all should be around your idea, and the listener or maybe judge should have three things in mind. First can be the problem you're solving, second is the solution you have come up with, and the third is the impact which it's creating for others. At the end, I would just say give your best and leave the rest, and that's all for the hackathon continuous tense. So after knowing all of this, you might be wondering that how one can get involved with hackathon and hacker community. Well, it is simple. There are various roles with which you can get involved. So let us quickly have a look onto those roles, and then we can maybe move ahead. And before that, hey Prathamesh, thanks a lot for joining in. I hope you all are having great time over here. And meanwhile, if you have any questions with respect to this, feel free to drop those questions down. We'll be taking the questions at the end of this session. So, for the first role, I'll talk about a hacker, which you all are right now. So, you can become a hacker and gain the experience worth remembering. Second is you can help others by becoming the part of an organizing team. This can be one of the approach to get involved with the hackathons. Then you can become the hackathon mentor and teach hackers so they can learn and build something great, right? Just like me, you can be the workshop or a talk speaker to share your knowledge and experiences with others. Other way is that you can become the part of the hackathon jury panel just to judge the great pool of projects. And just in case if you still want to experience the hackathon with all the above roles which I have shared with you on the screen, you can be an organizer and host an outstanding hackathon. That is always an option, because with an organizer role you can definitely experience all the above roles which you can see right now on the screen. Last but not the least, I would quickly share my hackathon experience and journey with you all. So, talking about me, I started my hackathon journey in way back February 2019, and my team ended up winning the very first hackathon of mine. And I personally never thought about the same. I never thought I would win my very first hackathon. But after I experienced the environment and the hackathon culture, I never looked back. I started attending various hackathons at different places and also won few out of them. And so far, I have attended around like 10 plus hackathons as a hacker. Later in 2020, I thought of giving back to the hacker community, right? And just wanted to teach hackers. And in the same way, I wanted to share my experience. So I started mentoring and speaking at different hackathons. And so far, I've been like mentoring 30 plus hackathons and speaker in around 10 plus hackathons. I even organized few hackathons to help hackers solve the shared problems of our society and just give them the opportunities they can grow with. And just in case if you want to know more about my hackathon journey and want to check out all my previous hackathon involvement and talks and appearances in the conferences, definitely go and visit my website, that is siddharth-hacks.live, and you can check everything else about me onto that website. And on that note, I would really like to thank each and every one of you for attending my talk over here at HackBMU and staying with me so far. Really appreciate, for being a wonderful audience. Also, a huge shout out to the entire HackBMU team for putting this event together. I know it's not an easy task to organize such an amazing hackathon, and you have been doing a great work. So definitely kudos to you folks. And yes, definitely, I would love to connect with you all folks watching me right now on my social media. So don't forget to connect with me on Instagram, Twitter, or LinkedIn. If you're connecting with me over LinkedIn, just add a message over there that connecting from Hack BMU Talk, and that will make it more personalized. And I'll definitely accept your request. And thanks once again. And now I can take some questions if there are any.
So, thank you for this very interesting and informative session, sir. So, let's open the floor for questions. So, if you all have any question, put them up in chat box.
Sure thing. I would love to, pick some questions and answer them right over here in the live. And meanwhile, if you are still watching, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to Hack BMU's YouTube channel. That will help them grow this channel and reach to a more larger audience, and definitely, help in any way possible. And don't forget to take a screenshot, share on socials, tag Hack BMU. You can tag me. My ID is over here, Siddharth_hacks, and just add the top three things which you have learned out of this session. Why am I telling you to do this thing? Because you are watching, but many of the other folks who are following you might have not watched this session. So by doing this thing, you can add value to the community. You can help them understand something which they might have missed. So these are the way you can start contributing to the community and just help others. And again, I'm open for questions. Even if organizers have some questions, with them, they can ask right away. All right, I can see one questions. Prachi, can you bring that up on the screen once?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Nipun is asking how to convince someone with zero coding skills to join a hackathon culture. Uh, what it requires, what does, like, let me frame a sentence over here. What is that one thing which is required for you to attend a hackathon? Right. Now, just try to make people understand that what is the importance of the hackathon, what is the importance of the hacker community, how you have become better version of yourself just by attending your very first hackathon, what is the change which you have observed while participating in the hackathon. Show them the things which he or she is not doing at the moment. For example, when I did not attended my very first hackathon, I was not coming up with different ideas, right? Now, after attending my very first hackathon, my brain got to work like 10 times more better in a way, I would say. And I started coming up with some various number of ideas. And before attending the hackathon, I was not able to come up with these many ideas. But lately, I realized that after attending a hackathon, my brain got boosted and I was able to come up with more newer and unique ideas which I can solve. So this was one of the many things which I, you know, observed myself, which was changed and it became better than before. So show them the things which they cannot do right now and they can do after attending a hackathon, and show the importance. And definitely, it's like for anyone who is having zero coding skills, it's not that they cannot attend a hackathon. When I attended my very first hackathon in February 2019, I was knowing nothing about any programming language. I was knowing nothing about coding, any high tech stuffs, and everything else, right? It was also something new for me. I was wondering what the people around me are doing. They are working on some various projects like hi-fi tech stacks and something else. They are talking in very high languages, and I was wondering what to do. But at that moment of time, I thought of why not I interact with these people and try to understand what they are actually doing. I interacted with those folks and learned from them at the same time. So this is how your mindset can be while participating in your very first hackathon. And we did whatever we could have done, and we never realized that how did we win that hackathon. But it's all about the idea you come up with. As I said, at the end of the day, the judges should have three things in your mind: the idea you're coming up with, the problem you're solving, and third, the impact which you are bringing. And for me as well, it worked, and I won my very first hackathon, even if I wasn't knowing any coding or anything else. So don't think that if you are just a beginner, you can't participate in the hackathon. You definitely can. What else? What's worst mistake in a hackathon? Worst mistake, I would say, according to my experience, the worst mistake which I did was I didn't had the plan B. I still remember I was participating in Smart India Hackathon 2019. Me and my team were one of the top four finalists from India, and we were working on our project. We went all the way from Gujarat to Kerala just for competing in the finals, and it was 24 hours hackathon. We were working on our project. The first round of judging went well, second went well, third went well. Last one was the power judging round. And we were all set with our project. We were completely confident about the same. We were seeing ourselves winning the hackathon, right? And unfortunately, at the very end, while the judges were about to, reach out to our desk, our system just crashed. uh, Everything like code went off. We didn't have the backup. We didn't have the code repositories at that very moment of time. I was the first year student at that moment of time in March 2019. I was knowing nothing about GitHub and all those cloud services, and I was feeling very regretted at that moment of time. The final round of judging was like, we got very less marks, due to which we jumped from first rank to second rank. And that was the worst thing which I regret, because if I would have prepared plan B for me if I would have done the backup of every code and stuffs onto GitHub, which I lately realized and learned. So if I would have done those things, I would not have missed the opportunity of winning one of India's prestigious hackathon. So, but definitely one should learn from their mistakes, and I did learn the same, and I never repeated that mistake again. So, you should definitely have plan B and have the backup mindset ready. Not just you, your entire team should have that thing up in your mind. I hope that answers your questions. If not, feel free to drop your questions again. Yash is asking how to manage time during a hackathon. It's a very good thing and interesting thing because sometimes it may be difficult for you to manage your time during a hackathon. But personally, it's like just have a note on whatever you are doing. Just have a note on the schedule of your hackathon. Try to note it down somewhere. For example, the hackathon is of 24 hours. Just note it down. Just keep in mind the schedule, like which workshop is happening when is the first judging round, when are the mentor connect sessions happening. And what you can do is that divide your work accordingly. For example, I'm working on a website. I would imagine, for example, in the first 6 hours I'll be doing the front end, and in the next 6 hours I'll be doing the back end, we'll be integrating database. Then I'll be working more on different functionalities like login sign up page, or maybe some footer sections or something, or definitely anything else. So you can divide your work accordingly, and not just you, your entire team should do. First of all, you will divide tasks, then you will divide work among your team, and this is how you can manage your time effectively. And as I said earlier, try to keep buffer time for yourself. For example, the hackathon is of 24 hours. Try finishing your project in, like, before 12 to 18 hours. That can be one of the feasible time, I would say. And the last 12 to 6 hours you can work on enhancing your project, making it in a more better way. Or just in case in the first 12 hours you are not able to get the desired solution to your problem, you can start working on plan B. That is helpful. And when you're having the buffer time with yourself, you can definitely have that right mindset and no pressure on yourself, so you can do the needful at the same time. And while judging as well, for example, there are in few hackathons there are like different judging rounds happening. So for example, in the first judging round there are some feedbacks from the judges to you. So if you have extra time, you can start working on those feedbacks, because many a times for judges it's not important about what solution you are coming up with, but it also becomes important that whether you are working on the feedbacks which are given by judges or not. For example, there are two teams. Both the teams have been given same feedback, and if one team is working hard on correcting the feedback and the other team is not, of course the first team is going to be preferred over you, right? So you can definitely keep yourself extra time just in case judges give some feedback to your team. You can work on those as well. Your biggest takeaway from a hackathon journey? There are like many takeaways. Personally, for me, winning a hackathon is not just to win all those cash prizes and standing the first, second, third winner category. But for me, winning a hackathon is like grabbing all those opportunities and impacts which I discussed in my slides. It can be learning from the workshops, solving a problem, meeting like-minded people, connecting with people, collaborating in a team. And when I put a check on all this checklist, this is the time when I actually win a hackathon. So for me, that is really very important. And the biggest takeaway from my hackathon journey is building some meaningful connections with whom I am still connected with, maybe online. I do meet them in person sometimes. I do meet them in some conferences or events happening online. So for me, very valuable thing is the connections which I've made in my entire journey of around like 55 plus hackathons so far. And that is what I would cherish for my entire lifetime, a life coming up ahead. So definitely that's the biggest takeaway. Hi Pratibha, thanks for joining. Any suggestions for beginners for contributing or solving issue on GitHub? Just participate. There are no any such great suggestion I'm going to give you right away. It's just you need to start doing what you want to do. Unless and until you won't start doing, you won't experience that thing, you won't learn out of it something, you won't gain those valuable experiences. So if you want to contribute, in solving issues on GitHub, just get into the conversation happening over there, interact with the people who are part of that particular issue, try to do some research work around the same so that you can come up with some better solution. And when you will do all of these things, you will definitely get involved with the particular, uh, like solving that issue. So you'll get involved with the same. So for beginners, definitely get into the conversation, add your viewpoint, because everyone have something unique to share. For example, if I see a situation in another way, you might be having some different perspective for the same. For example, I can see a person standing over there in front of hills. You might not be seeing the person, but you might be able to see the hills and all the natural sceneries over there. So everyone have different perspective. So go and get into the conversation, add your viewpoint over there, share what you are knowing, share your knowledge at the same time, and this is how you can get involved in solving any issue on GitHub. All right, and what else? I can see one more question from Yash. How India's hackathon culture can boost our employability? This can be a great question, I would say, because personally in 2019 there were not that many number of hackathons happening each weekend, but due to this, due to like when we shifted online, I observed a number of hackathons happening each weekend, and the numbers have got boosted like anything. There are like n number of hackathons. Like today is Sunday. There might be around more than 10 plus hackathons happening on today itself. So the number of hackathons happening has boosted, and with that there are number of opportunities which has boosted at the same time. Talking about employability, I would say if you're attending a hackathon, how you can get employed is a different thing altogether, but it is more of like how much you are taking most out of it. For example, talking about me, I would do is that I would make meaningful projects. I would add those projects into my resume, just in case I'm applying somewhere. I would add those projects link which I worked during a hackathon in my resume, and we'll talk about the same in my interview. So that there is like nothing wrong in discussing your hackathon projects in your interview and telling the interviewer that how you worked around these projects, whatever the things which you did, what were the challenges which you faced, and how did you overcome those things. This is definitely a good point to discuss in an interview. What else I can do is, if I'm attending a hackathon, I would interact with the sponsor representatives over there. For example, there are some companies sponsoring the hackathon, and if there are some people coming from those companies to represent in your hackathon, just go and interact with these people, because what you can do is you can understand more about the company, the mindset of the interviewer or maybe company person, and you can ask if there are any hiring opportunities, if there are any internships which the company is looking for, or if yes, how can I become the part of it. Is there any email I can reach out to, what are the job description, and what are the work I can do. Discuss such things, so this way you can just grab the attention, you can show your willingness to do something, to work around some topic in a company, and this is how you can definitely boost your employability in case you are looking for something. And hackathon culture will definitely boost employability basically in India, because India has got many good developers, many good hackers, many good people who are willing to come up with better solution for an existing problem. And India is like a top country for all of these things, and India will do great in coming years, so that is for sure. All right, do we have any more questions in the chat? I cannot see any as of now. And I hope
Let's
this answers all of your questions. Yeah, if not, like feel free to add your questions once again. And thanks once again for dropping down your questions. That really means a lot.
Well, do we have any other questions? Please feel free to put them in. Yeah.
No, I can't see any. And
Well,
yes, once
I guess
again, yeah, go on, go on.
no. Please, you carry on. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying that if in case you have any further question, and if you want to, I have already joined the Discord server for HackBMU, so you can definitely reach out to me via there. And if not, you can definitely reach out to me on social media. You already know my ID is this, which is where it is here, Siddharth underscore hacks. So feel free to reach out to me over there.
I guess then this wraps up our session. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up our session. On behalf of Hack BMU 4.0 organizing team, I thank Mr. Siddharth Delwal for making time in his busy schedule to join us here. We would like to express our gratitude towards all our sponsors who are making all this possible. Hack BMU 4.0 is brought to you by our platinum sponsor, Dave Folio and Coding Ninjas, our gold sponsor, Matic, Potties and Tezos, our workshop and coding partners, CodeChef and Unacademy, our partners JetBrains, Sketch, Rosenfeld, Balsamic, No Starch Press, Taskade, Sashido, Echo AR, One Password, Azure, Egghead.io, The Codex, Code Asylums, Testmail, Badelog.in, Give My Certificate, and InMovieDo. Our digital learning partner, Board Infinity, and our media partners, Cryptopolitan and ED Times. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you being here. Don't forget to fill the feedback form for the session to receive your certificates. The link for the same is in the chat box. Once again, we thank you, Mr. Delwal, for such an amazing session. Honestly.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Happy hacking.